Hello again. Today we're in the studio for a hip opening and some inversions by request. So join me today, grab your mat wherever you are, grab your breath, and practice with me today. Come into an easy seat, and as always, we'll come into our breath. Bring your hands to heart center, close your eyes, and breathe in through your nose, and out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, and out through your mouth. Now come into your natural breath, inhaling and exhaling through your nose, just noticing the rhythm. Inhaling fully and exhaling fully. On your next inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Exhale for a twist, bring your left hand to the outside of your right knee, bringing your right hand behind you. Inhale, extending through that spine. Exhaling, deepening the twist. Inhaling, finding extension in your spine. And exhaling, finding that twist. One more. And inhale your arms up overhead. Exhale, twist to the other side. Your right hand will come to the outside of your left knee. Inhale, finding space in your spine. Exhale, finding your twist. Inhale, creating space. Exhale, deepening your twist. One more, inhale, creating length in your spine. Exhale, rotating into your twist. Inhale, bringing your arms overhead, noticing which foot is in front, and exhaling, your hands down in front of you, reaching through those fingers. Breathing here. You'll feel it in your lower back, and a nice gentle stretch in the hip, the outside of the hip of the leg that is in front. Really reaching through those fingertips, crawling your hands across the floor. Bowing your head. One more breath here. Inhale, using your hands to bring you back to a neutral spine, and switching which leg is in front. Inhaling your arms overhead, and exhaling, folding over those legs, feeling it in your left hip now, or maybe your right, depending which one was in front first. Breathe into that space. One more breath here. And on your next inhale, gently allow your hands to help you back to a neutral spine. We'll inhale our arms overhead again, dropping the left hand down to the left side, and then bending at the elbow as we think about bringing our elbow towards the ground as both sit bones are firmly planted and creating a nice bend through your right side. As always, feel free to have your eyes open or closed, whatever you're more comfortable with. One more breath. And then inhale, bring your arms overhead. Exhale, your right arm down to the earth, bending that right elbow. Thinking about moving it towards the earth. Maybe it touches, maybe it doesn't. But both sit bones should be firmly planted on the ground as you open up through that left side body, bringing your left arm over. One more breath. And inhale, back to center. Exhale, bring your hands behind your back. Clasp your hands together. Inhale, look at the sky or your ceiling. Bringing your clasped hands out behind you. Opening through that heart center. And exhale, bring your hands to your knees. We'll warm up our neck a little more by dropping your chin to your chest on your next exhale. And then begin making whole or half very slow circles with your neck. Drawing circles left to right with your nose. Half circles if you're doing half circles. Whole circles if you're doing circles. If you're doing whole circles, switch your direction of your neck roll now. Really breathing into your body, oxygenating all those muscles that are beginning to be used and loosening up. Return to your chin to your chest. Inhale, return your neck to neutral position. And we'll come forward for table pose. Give yourself a wiggle here. Feel what your hips are feeling. And then find your stillness. Your wrists are right under your shoulders. Your knees are right under your hips. Your knees are separated. Spreading all of your 10 fingers as wide as they can, distributing your weight on your hands instead of collapsing that weight just below your wrists. Neutral spine here. One concentrated breath. And then on your next inhale, drop your belly for cow. Filling up those lungs. And then exhale, pressing into the ground, bringing your spine up for cat. Inhale with your breath here. Do a few rounds of cat-cow, warming up our body. Making sure to fully inflate those lungs and fully deflate those lungs. And we'll meet in a neutral spine. Tucking your toes under, we'll come into our first down dog of the day. Lift those hips up, and then think about your heels pressing towards your mat. Maybe you want to widen your dog a little today. Maybe you want to shorten your dog. Wherever you are, that's fine. Just be there. Breathe into everything you're feeling. Maybe your calves are tight. Maybe it would feel good to walk out your dog. Find a little bit of movement. And then we'll find stillness for a breath. On your next inhale, raise your right leg up to the sky. And bring it through, planting it between your hands, lowering that left knee. Keeping your hands on the ground. Just breathing into that left hip. And then tuck the toes under your left foot, bringing your left leg forward to meet your right. Forward fold. Inhale, rising for tall mountain. Maybe a little back bend here. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Maybe your knees are bent generously. Maybe they're relatively straight, just a micro bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step that right foot back. Allow your right knee to come to the ground, tucking your toes so the top part of your foot is down. Keeping your hands down here. Just breathing into that hip. And then tuck those toes under on the right foot. Bring the left foot back to meet the right. We'll come into plank. Breathing here for 3 breaths. If you need to lower your knees or you want to lower your knees today, feel free to do that. Otherwise, pressing strongly into the ground. thinking about sending energy out those heels as they press backwards. And then coming forward on those toes, chaturanga all the way to the floor. We'll inhale up for cobra, and exhale back to the floor. You can push through plank here or table, but we'll meet in down dog. Taking a moment to take a breath. This time we'll raise our left leg into the air, bringing it through between our hands, and raise your arms up on an inhale for your crescent lunge. Take your right wrist in your left hand, creating a nice side bend to get into that psoas muscle. And return to center. Exhale, hands come to the mat. Your right foot comes to meet your left, forward fold. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Step your left foot back. Inhale, rising up for crescent lunge. Pressing through that heel. Take your left wrist in your right hand and create a little bit of a side bend on your left side, getting into that psoas. Breathing here. Back leg is strong and extended. And then return to center. Exhale, place your hands on the mat. Your right foot will come back to meet your left. Staying here in plank for 3 breaths. You can do it. You've got this. And then forward for chaturanga to your up dog. Take a look to the left. Take a look to the right. It feels good on my lower back. Probably it feels good on yours. And inhale, back to down dog. Taking your time here to take your breaths. Come forward again to plank. And then rolling off onto your left foot, stacking your right on top of your left for side plank. Extending your right arm into the air if you can, or you can extend your right arm above you, thinking of lifting your hips. Wherever you are today, that's fine. Now bringing your right foot forward, planting the bottom of your foot on your mat, and then pressing up through those hips. Finding some stability here in your side plank. Return to your full expression of your side plank. Come back to plank, chaturanga, to your up dog. And back to down dog. Rolling off now to your right side, coming into side plank and then rolling, coming into plank and then rolling off to your right side, your side plank on the right. Same thing here. You can stack your feet so the edge of your right foot is on your mat. Maybe your arm is extended up straight, maybe it's above you, extending beyond your head. Wherever you are today, be there. One more breath here. Then we'll take our left foot, bringing it about midway to our body, placing the foot on the ground, and then lifting, using that as leverage to lift through our hips. Feels really good right through here. And coming back into side plank, one breath. Returning to regular plank, chaturanga, to up dog. and back to down dog. Taking time for your breath here. On your next inhale, raise your right leg, bend your knee, and really stack those hips. If you'd like, you can drop that foot to the ground behind you, coming into wild thing, thinking of lifting through your hips, allowing that arm to fall. We'll come back to our three-legged down dog, bringing that right leg forward for half pigeon. Get cozy here. And then if it's comfortable for you, extending through your spine on an inhale. And then dropping to your forearms on an exhale. Breathing here. If you would like to involve your left quad here, you can transfer your hand. You can rise up, transfer your hand to your transfer your weight to your left hand, and then reach back with that right hand. See if you can find your ankle or your toes. And just gently lifting that left leg off the ground. Breathe into all the places you're feeling. One more breath here, you can do it. And then gently release that left foot. Come onto your right hip. Bring that left leg around, stacking your knees on top of one another. Taking your hands out straight to either side of you and gently folding over your knees. Inhale, return to neutral spine. Exhale, bring that left leg in front of you, bringing the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Inhale your arms overhead, and exhale, folding over that right leg, or left leg, sorry. Thinking about bringing your nose towards your knee, flexing your foot. Maybe you give yourself a quick foot massage. Little self-care during your self-care, never hurt anyone. And then breathing, settling into this pose. Maybe your nose touches your knee. Maybe it's comfortable to hold onto your toes. Maybe it's comfortable to hold onto your calves. Wherever you are, again, just be there. It's okay. And inhale, using your hands to help yourself return to neutral spine. Bring our feet forward and bending through our knees and coming back into our down dog. Breathing and centering here. On your next inhale, raise your left leg for three-legged dog, bending your knees, stacking your hips. Thinking about keeping your shoulders parallel with the front of your mat. If you'd like, you can drop that left foot to the floor behind you for a wild thing on the other side. Otherwise, stay with your knee bent, lining your hips up. We'll come back to our three-legged down dog wherever you are. Bringing that left leg forward for half pigeon. Inhale, creating length in the spine. And exhale, folding over that leg. My hips are very tight. So being wherever you are and finding comfort there. Settle in. Breathe into that space you're finding and creating. This is a good spot to close your eyes. One more full breath in and out. And then rise up, shifting your weight to your right hand. If you'd like to integrate your right quad, do so now by bending your right knee and reaching back with that left hand to just stretch that quad out gently. One more breath here. And then gently release that right foot back to the mat. You'll come onto the outside of your left hip, swinging that right leg over your left, stacking your knees, bringing your hands out to the sides. Inhale and exhale gently, folding ever so slightly maybe over those knees. Breathe in here as always. And then on your inhale, return to neutral spine. Exhale, extending that right foot out, bringing the left foot to the inside of your right leg. Inhale, rising your hands overhead. Exhale, folding over that right leg. This is where you can sneak in your foot massage. If you have to be in shoes all day like I do at work, it's good to get a little stimulation to the feet where you can. And then just settle into the pose. Inhale, using your hands to help you return to a neutral spine. Bring your feet together in front of you. Take your hands to the insides of your feet and open your feet like a book. It will help your hips open up a bit. And then inhale, lengthening through the spine. And then exhaling, coming over those, bringing your heart over those feet, keeping a straight spine. You can use your elbows here for a little bit of leverage, but don't press down too hard on your knees. As always, be kind to yourself. And on your next inhale, return to neutral. Bring your feet out in front of you. Maybe scooch up a little if you need to. And make your way one vertebrae at a time down on your back onto your mat. Bring your feet in a little closer to your body, still hip distance apart. We'll prepare for bridge. Take a centering breath. And on your next inhale, raise your hips up to the sky. You can come up on your shoulders, clasping your hands under yourself if you're able. We'll stay for 3 breaths. And then lowering one vertebrae at a time, releasing your clasped hands, and taking one centering breath here. Raise your right leg into the sky, cross your bend your knee and cross your ankle over above your left knee. And then lift your left leg for figure 4. You can use your elbow here to help leverage your knee a bit, just a bit. I find it's helpful to maintain the flexion of both my feet in this pose, but you can feel free to drop your knee if you'd like on your left leg. And relax through your foot on your right leg if that feels good. The flexion of your right foot, at least here, protects your knee. Place your left foot back on the ground. Extend that left leg up with the right leg up and place it back on the ground. We'll set up for bridge again. Inhaling, bringing your hips to the sky, clasping your hands underneath of you, really pushing through your feet here, thinking of lifting, using that leverage from the ground to lift your hips. Breathing. One more inhale. And on your exhale, lower one vertebrae at a time. Back to the earth. Inhale your left leg straight up to the sky. Bending that knee, bringing the left ankle to just above the right knee. And then lifting that right foot up off the ground for a supine figure 4. I am using my left elbow here on the inside of my left hip just as a little bit of leverage. Feel what you're feeling. Breathe into that feeling. And return your right foot to the earth. Return your left foot to the earth. We'll set up for our very last bridge. If you'd like to come into wheel, you may do so. Otherwise, lift on your next inhale. Lift those hips up. Clasp those hands behind your back. Pressing through your feet to raise your hips. 3 breaths here. Inhale, and on your next exhale, one vertebrae at a time. Lower extra slowly and softly to the earth. We'll continue to cool down our practice by coming into shoulder stand, raising your legs into the sky and rocking back towards your shoulders, using your hands to support your hips and extending your feet all the way into the sky. You can point your toes. You can flex your toes. You could come into inverted cobbler. You could come into eagle legs. Thinking about your standing foot as though it's standing on the ceiling. If you do eagle legs, make sure you do the other eagle legs, the other side. And if you can, feel free to extend those hands out behind you. And bending your knees, bringing them to your ears for Death Man, and or extending your feet for plow. In plow, you can get into your hamstrings a little bit. Death Man can be very relaxing, just bringing your knees to your ears as though to block any sound that could come in. And then wherever you are, using your hands to help guide your hips back to the earth very slowly again, one vertebrae at a time. We'll return to cobbler's pose, legs, but coming up on our elbows and allowing our heads to drape backwards. Returning to neutral spine. Coming to lie flat on our backs. Bring that right leg into your chest, giving it a hug. And then pulling it with your left hand across your body for a supine twist. You can extend your hand out, your right hand out, and you can look past it, or you might like cactus arms. You can experiment here and with any pose and find what feels good. Wherever you are, continue to breathe. Returning to center, switching legs. Your right leg will extend, your left leg will come in for a hug. Your right hand can take your knee across your body for a supine twist on the other side. Now your head will gaze to the left, thinking about your shoulder coming towards the earth, your left shoulder towards the earth, and your left knee towards the earth on the other side. Really breathing here into that lower back. And returning to center. Give yourself a big hug, wrapping yourself up, squeezing and releasing gently. Feet as wide as the mat, hands up to the sky. Or maybe you prefer to have one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. Wherever you are today, that's okay. We're setting up for Shavasana, so close your eyes. Notice your breath. With your breath, relaxing that space between your eyes and your jawline, your neck, your shoulders, traveling down your body, relaxing your legs, your knees, your calves, ankles, toes. Just finding some space here to come into your natural breath and integrate your practice. If you have time, by all means, pause the video. If you'd like an abbreviated Shavasana, begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, your ankles and your wrists. Move your arms and your legs. Reach your arms overhead, stretching like you just got out of bed. World peace stretch. And then exhale. Coming onto your right side, noticing the weight of your body on the earth here. The earth is here to support us. On your next exhale, using your hands to come into a comfortable seated position. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for the inversion request. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.